Welcome to the Sportscast, June 6, 2019. If you haven't yet, please subscribe in all our channels, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and iTunes. And if you're on iTunes, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. And of course, visit us at thesportscast.net. As predicted, it was going to be a difficult game for the Warriors when they fell to the Toronto Raptors, 123-109. And to join us to recap Game 3, we got Mr. Caillou Bordern. Welcome back to the Sportscast.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Caillou, as expected, no Clay, no KD, of course, and no Looney. Toronto Raptors did it. What were your thoughts about the game?
My thoughts were I really liked how Toronto played last night. We had 17 points from all five starters, which created really good balance for Toronto. Kyle Lowry gave you 23. I felt like he was the player of the game. Even though Kawhi Leonard gave you 30, you already know what production you're going to get out of Kawhi. For the most part, you already know what you're going to get out of him. So I felt like Toronto did a really good job. Every single time that Golden State came close, Steph Curry had a huge first quarter. Every single time that Golden State made that run, Toronto hit big threes. Danny Green, as I said in the last series, he's been struggling. I thought he really did a great job. Kyle Lowry, 23 points, 8 of 16, 5 of 9 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw, 9 assists, plus 14, 43 minutes. Really played outstanding defense. I felt like he was really the tone set in this one because Toronto really goes as Kyle Lowry goes. In their wins, Kyle Lowry wins the game. And in their loss, really, need him. And I also feel like off the bench, even though he really could tone off the bench. 6 blocks was outstanding. Had a great block in transition. Also felt like Pascal Siakam, 18.16 on the floor, and 96 assists, plus 20. In it on both. I was got to the love time. Toronto also had 52. 3.2% from the free throw, 50, 40, and that. I mean, this is going to be tough. Really play the game.
Caillou, your reception is a little bit bad, so try to get into a better area. But yeah, it was one heck of a game. I really thought that the Raptors took advantage of the situation. Even though Steph Curry had 47 points, which analysts were saying that Steph had to score between 30 and 40. He scored 47, close to 50. It wasn't enough for the Warriors to beat the Raptors.
Okay.
Caillou, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay, yeah. I was saying that Steph Curry had about 47 points, and was not enough for the Warriors to beat the Raptors.
Yeah, I feel like Steph Curry, 47 points. Obviously, they didn't get that much production from their starters. They only got 36 other points from their starters. So obviously, I think in Game 4, they need to get Klay Thompson back, which they're going to have Klay Thompson back, which should be huge for Golden.
Yeah, Klay Thompson is expected to play on Friday. Any word on Kevin Durant? I heard he's a possibility for Friday.
Yeah, I heard Kevin Durant is practicing, but it just strikes me as they keep pushing the return date back. I mean, I know he's expected to practice, and I don't think he's going to come back in the series. I think he possibly would, but I'm a little skeptical because every single game in Game 3 they say there's a possibility. Now it's Game 4, and then if he doesn't come back by Game 5, you got to question if he's actually going to return in this series.
Yeah, I would agree on that. I mean, obviously he's dealing with a calf injury. He's been out for about 4 weeks. Of course, obviously, like the focus should be on the Raptors. I really thought the Raptors had a great game. I think Kawhi Leonard had a great game. He had 30 points. Pascal Siakam 18 points. Kyle Lowry 23. This team is healthy. Marc Gasol scored 27. I think most of their players had double digits. I mean, can this Raptors finish it off?
I think Zach and what happened can be difficult if both Kevin Durant and Clay comes back, but now they have home court. I mean, if Kyle Lowry's going to play like this and wins, and Marcus Gasol is going to contribute and play better, and DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, I know coming off it. Why I said before, I said at the beginning of the finals, we shouldn't expect much from DeMarcus because he's coming off a tough injury. He's coming off a tough injury. That's why I said we shouldn't expect him. A lot of people were saying after game 2 he can possibly build on that. I felt the opposite because I feel like he's a big coming off a tough injury. Obviously is not moving around well. 4 points, 1 of 7 in 19 minutes, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and he was just outplayed. He looked slow in transition, was out of control at times. DeMarcus just had a really bad night.
Fred Vanderfleet. Fred VanVleet, what'd you think about his performance?
He was outstanding. 11 points, 4 of 8. He made timely buckets. I felt like there was a stretch in the starting baskets. I mean, it was 55-48, and a nice 3-point VanVleet was huge. Touching the third quarter run, or they tried to get they won the third quarter because we all know that Golden State is the best third quarter team in the league, and they won that third quarter 36-31, which is huge for Toronto. And on goal, only going ESL shooting 3, which is 1.5% of the time. So I feel like it was huge for Toronto to win that third quarter and to be able to withstand Golden State's runs.
One significant player that I really saw, just making shots was Danny Green. Even though he had 18 points, but it seems like he was unstoppable. I think he had back-to-back shots.
I'd like to touch on Danny Green. Danny Green was not like he scored 18 points. Every single 3 that he made was time of day. With that, he was we're going to say with the best third quarter team. He had back-to-back clutch 3s. The 3 off the steal was also amazing. Like Danny Green, 6. And not only that he made 6 3s, it was about sometimes when you make them, when Golden State's and so they can those runs. And so Danny Green and the Toronto Raptors did a great job at withstanding that run. And Danny Green, as I was going to say, reminds you of what he did on the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, this, keep in mind, like, we're seeing some San Antonio championship experience coming with the Toronto Raptors here. I think, don't forget Danny Green won his championship back in 2014, and of course Kawhi Leonard. So this definitely is bringing the Toronto over the edge, and being a significant team in the East. Looking to Game 4, what expectations do you have?
Expectations that now that Klay Thompson is going to play in Game 4, I think Toronto's guy continue to control the pace and in the game. I said in Game 4, they know it has to go back and they want to go to state. To focus, but doesn't have to, try to,
Yeah, something that, we're looking at significant. Game 4 is very pivotal for the Warriors. I think the pressure is on them. Obviously, the series is just 2-1. It's nothing to panic, but, Game 4 is pivotal, and we'll see where the Warriors go. We're expecting to have Clay back, and obviously, he won't be 100%. These type of injuries take I was hearing from a doctor 8 weeks it could take to heal up. So he definitely won't be 100%, but they definitely need him back. I think there's no question. I think he's probably better off than KD as of right now.
Yeah, true.
Looking towards some possibly free agency. I've been hearing that that Kyrie wants to go to Brooklyn instead of the Knicks. What are your thoughts about that?
I think that Kyrie, there was an image of him shot for real estate in New York. I think that with Kyrie, it's still saying Nick. The edge, obviously Madison Garden, still holds a lot of weight. I still give the Knicks edge. I give the Brooklyn more of a chance than the Lakers. I put the Knicks, Brooklyn, then the Lakers, and I don't think that he returns to the Celtics. I think that's not a possibility. So I would put the Knicks, then Brooklyn, with an increasing chance by the day, because it's hard to really ignore some of the things that's happening with Brooklyn. The general manager Sean Marks is good. I think Kenny Atkinson's a really good coach. They also had a good foundation this year with D'Angelo Russell. He had a breakout season. Jared Allen's emerging, and some of their young players. So I actually think that Brooklyn's right behind the Knicks, but I still think the Knicks are ahead.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens in the offseason. Another incident that happened yesterday was a fan shoved Kyle Lowry last night, which he was actually an investor of the Golden State Warriors, and will not be permitted to attend any more games in the series. The Warriors said Thursday that they and investor Mark Stevens, who is listed in the team's media guide as a member of the 6-person executive board, both apologized to Lowry and the Raptors for the incident. Lowry went into a row seats along the sideline in an effort to save a loose ball during Wednesday night's game at Oracle Arena. Lowry landed a couple of seats to Stevens' left, and video shows Lowry then being shoved in the left shoulder. I guess when you're becoming competitive, you just win at all costs, don't you?
Yeah, I think that was extremely inappropriate by Mark Stevens. He's obviously I looked it up before, probably doing some research. He's a venture capitalist. He's a part owner of the Golden State Warriors. It's absolutely inappropriate. Whether you're courtside fans sitting high, you're $9 billion. Really tough player. Well, a lot of logistics doesn't matter. Hands on a player. Either competitive want you to win.
Yeah, quite. Yeah.
And just court like this. So,
yeah, Caillou, your connection's pretty poor. I don't know if you could move around a little bit, but we're barely hearing you.
Maybe I speak higher.
Okay, maybe that. But yeah, it's he will not be attending any more games, so we'll definitely. It's fans being fans, and of course you got Drake on the other end. But Drake has been quiet these past these finals, except he had a little talk with Draymond Green, but he hasn't really made much of a commotion.
Yeah, I think that the league make sure that Drake doesn't.
Yeah. Well, the NBA has told him to calm down after or during the Milwaukee series, so definitely that could be a factor. There is some news sources that Warriors Looney could return in the finals after undergoing further evaluation of the non-displaced first coastal cartilage fracture he suffered in Game 2. The Golden State Warriors forward Kevon Looney could potentially return during the NBA Finals. League sources told ESPN. More testing will determine Looney's next step and whether he does, in fact, make a return to the league championship round. We don't know what game he will come back, but do you think this will help out the Warriors?
Yeah, I think it would help them out because I think that Golden State obviously needs him because when Jonas Repko was out there, he played really bad. You didn't get much from Jordan Bell. DeMarcus Cousins wasn't that good, so you didn't get much front court things. So this can help Golden State. Get more depth because Jeremiah Green had 4 fouls, and this could help them obviously, get more depth, and more of a pick and roll partner with Steph. So this could give them some more depth, especially with Kevin Durant, could the possibility that he can return late in the series.
This is a bad year. This is not a good year or a good series for the Warriors. This whole playoff has not been good. Injuries, even though they've made it through the finals. But it's like they're slowly, they've been slowly breaking apart, but then they're coming back in. But it's just, with the healthy Warriors, you'd think the series would be more geared, more geared for them to win it.
True. I agree.
It's quite incredible, that to deal with these injuries and these blows, but it's okay. We'll see how this thing pans out. There's still time. I think it's still early. Back to DeMarcus Cousins. You're right. He had a great game 2, but game 3 just had 4 points. I mean, they'll need more of him. Do you think?
He struggled a lot with his left. I also think that this 6 weeks, 6 weeks and you're big, that's tough to come back in. He's big, coming off an Achilles, and then he hurts his quad at that size. I think it's very difficult. I think people are expecting too much after the game 2 performance. It was good, but I think people expect him to repeat the performance, and I feel it's difficult for a guy coming off that kind of injury, given his body weight, and, still struggling with conditioning. And I feel like there was a play in particular where he just struggled and he couldn't finish. That really showed me that, he just wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Quinn Cook only had 9 points. I think he needed to put some more, but a lot of their bench was playing towards the end. But man, I think most of the game was like 7 and 9 points. It was like the gap, but just Golden State couldn't close it.
Yeah, also second, I think Draymond Green needs to play better because in the first half he was out of control. I didn't feel like he set the tone. He pushed the pace a couple of times, but it was leading the offensive foul. I think Draymond, after Steph, because Klay Thompson's getting back, so I think Steph will give you 47. That's going to come down. Klay Thompson's going to give you his 25, but I think Draymond Green, they need to get him some early and often, go forward and get down so that can give Golden State, a push to try to win Game 4.
Yeah, should be very exciting. Game 4 is this Friday and at 9 p.m. live from the Oracle Arena. This potentially could be the last game at Oracle Arena. It is the oldest stadium in the NBA, and really shocked by that. But their new stadium will be ready, and it'll be in San Francisco this time around. And there was this T-shirt released by Nike, or it was not released by Nike, but it was like from Nike. It was not supposed to be released till later on, and it showed San Francisco. I mean, it would show Kevin Durant's all the cities he's been, and then it showed San Francisco as the last city. So there's rumors that he may stay with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah. Read too much. There's a possibility he can come back to Golden State. You hear from Stephen A. He's out if he, if the Golden State obviously come back and win the series. I don't read too much into it, I just don't read.
Yeah, we just won't know for sure until this summer. Obviously, he'll be a free agent, but he could resign or he could go to New York. The New York Knicks is most likely. I've not heard anything about Brooklyn, but anyways, anything else before we head into game predictions?
No.
All right, we're going to go with tonight, St. Louis Blues at the Boston Bruins for the Stanley Cup. And series is tied 2-2.
Yeah, I'm going to go Boston Bruins. I think they're going to bounce back tonight. I'm going to go Boston Bruins.
Boston Bruins wins in Boston. So far, it's a tight series. And then, of course, Game 4 tomorrow, the Raptors at the Warriors. Caillou, who do you got?
I'm going to take the Warriors. Obviously, they need to win Game 4. It's not a must-win, but I think it's imperative because they're going back to Canada. So I'm going
I do agree. Yeah,
I think
like there's been series where teams have been down 3-1 and just come back and win it. So this is it's not a do or die, but it is Game 4.
Yeah, I don't think it's a do or die, but I think it's an imperative win, and I think they would love to have this game. And it's also the possibility of their last home game. So you do want to send your home fans, it's also the possibility of that too. So, I mean, if you lose that game and you go to Canada and lose, expect to have the possibility of playing. I think they are going to come out as emergency. I think Steph Curry finishes out in a close one. I think I can see something like, 112 to 107 type of game.
It should be pretty exciting. I think if Klay comes back, I really do think it increases the chances for the Warriors to win by far. I think Clay definitely, because they need shooters, and all they had was Clay last night, and the rest were just role players, trying to get shots, mid range or trying to get into the paint. But we're definitely going to see more of a better chance with Clay in it. So we'll see. I hope they win because it'll be a very competitive series, and yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because better series and a championship series is always better.
Absolutely. If it goes down to Game 7, that's a series. Anyways, Caillou, how can people reach you online to talk to you about the Warriors?
They can reach me at Caillou Bordern 12 and also on Instagram at CaillouB123.
And you can follow us on the sportscast.net or on Twitter. The Sportscast1 will be following the NBA. We got some French Open stuff going on. Of course, the Stanley Cup Finals tonight. So it should be a pretty exciting week in sports. And we'll see where the NBA Finals goes. But it's a lot of drama, but it also keeps you on the edge of your seat. Anyways, Caillou, thanks for coming on to the Sportscast.
Appreciate it.